আজকের দিনে আমাদের চারপাশে যে আধুনিক ঝাঁ চকচকে গাড়ি বা বাইক দেখি তা একদিনে আসেনি, তা আসতে অনেকগুলো যুগ পার করতে হয়েছে। আর এই কলকাতায় কবে প্রথম গাড়ি গড়াতে শুরু করলো বা কোন গাড়ি দিয়ে সেই গাড়ি বা আজ কেমন আছে, শুধু কি গাড়ি বাইকের কথা জানতে ইচ্ছে হয়তো। তবে সেসব শতাব্দী প্রাচীন গাড়ি ও বাইক দেখার জন্য আজকের এই ভিডিওটা। আর আজকের এই ভিডিওতে আছে আমাদের সকলের প্রিয় গায়ক হেমন্ত মুখার্জির গাড়িটিও। দ্য স্টেটসম্যান আয়োজিত ভিনটেজ অ্যান্ড ক্লাসিক কার র্যালি সেনাবাহিনীর কুচকাওয়াজের মধ্য দিয়ে শুরু হচ্ছে।
The first car, the oldest car of Kolkata, a 1906 Renault Frere with wooden wheels, is efficiently and successfully maneuvering the wiggle-woggle and is inching towards us. A good round of applause for this beautiful machines of the yesteryears, a French machine, a fine piece of German engineering of 1913, efficiently doing the wiggle-woggle. This car, ladies and gentlemen, still runs on carbide headlamps and kerosene side lamps. Gebruder Stoa 19, followed by a very pious car, a holy car, the only Phantom, Rolls-Royce Phantom, being used by the Mandir, and you can see that it has been decorated in an appropriate way. Although it's a very large car, but still, ladies and gentlemen, it has successfully passed the wiggle-woggle test. Closely followed by another Rolls-Royce. Rolls-Royce belonging to Ashok Kumar Bubna, driven by Karan Bubna. Oh, what a beauty! A 1926 Austin, a 4-cylinder. Now we have the 1926 Studebaker Erskine, belonging to Kunal Banerjee, being driven by Bapi Chaudhary. Now we have 1927 Austin, owned by late Syed Sirajuddin Hussain. The cars are being flagged off by GOC Bengal sub-area. Closely followed by car number 10. Which is a 1927 Dodge owned by Gaurav Dugar, being driven by Surendra Dugar. We have Major General H. Dharmarajan Ati Vishisht Seva Medal, Bar 2 Sena Medal, Vishisht Seva Medal. Wiggle, woggle, we just come by. It's a 1928 Ford. 40 horsepower. Rakesh Himat Singha. What a nice piece of engineering along with the beauty. Now we have the car, a 1928 Ford A, owned by Surendra Kumar Dugar. What a nice piece. So it was actually Emil Jelinek, an Austrian businessman, who actually had a flair for cars, and he would come and collect the cars and take it to his country, and thereafter, after exhibition, he would sell them. He would also take part in the nice races under the brand name, under the name of his daughter, Mercedes. We have car number 16, which is a 1928 Studebaker, owned by Supriya Roy, and stables. It's a fine piece of machinery.
বাবা রে, পুরনো গাড়ি তো পুরনো মেজাজ হুটকার।
We have a 1931 chairman of Shama Prasad Mukherjee Port, Mr. Rathindra Raman, to do the honors, sir. Thank you, sir. We have a car number 19, which is 1930, especially the north of Kolkata, which is infamous for its by-lanes. We have a 1932 Ford V8, owned by Shukantilal Shaha, and is being driven by Shinjan Shaha. But this Ford has been bought back from Mumbai, and this is the first time he's entering the Statesman Vintage and Classic Car Rally 2024. Closely followed by the heels is a 1932 Singer, owned by Saurabh Dugar. At one time, these cars also used to be seen in plenty, but now these are very few in number and has become. And when later on, when he gave the seed money and ordered for 26 cars at one go, he requested that my daughter should be remembered, and that's how Mercedes came into the picture. We have a 1933 by another yesteryear beauty, car number 23, a 1933 Standard Little, being owned by Godai Chand De, and is being driven by his son Richik De. Car number 24, a 1933 Austin, a 4-cylinder, 8 horsepower, Gurmukh Singh, owned by Gurmukh Singh, Booker. And as you may see, that billions and millions of Booker family members riding the car. This car has come all the way from Chaibasha. We have the evidence as they've produced, and they have been participating in the Statesman rally for n number of years. Car number 25, a 1933 full speed. Followed by a car number 26 is a 1934 Austin owned by late Hori Mohan De. We have car number 27, a 1934 Austin owned by Pratima Addo and being driven by Devashish. 5 green Austin owned by Mr. Anirudh Ghosh and being driven by Mrs. Morisha Molli.
কি এটা
May I request Mr. K.V. Ramamurthy, ED, Indian Oil, to kindly do the honors, sir. Followed closely by a 1937 Morris, owned by Gargi Shadukha and driven by Dr. colleague of mine, Dr. Gautam Shadukha.
After 12 years
1937 Opel, owned by Mrs. Smita Bajoria and is being driven by Sri Rupa Sarkar. What a grand old machine. This car. What a grand old machine. This car. A Rolls Royce at one time used to throng the quarters of the Rashtrapati Bhavan. Wiggle, woggle, wiggle, woggle. What a piece of beauty of the yesteryears. Please put your hands together. Wiggle, woggle, wiggle, woggle. What a piece of beauty of the yesteryears. Please put your hands together. We have the family in floral costumes to remind that tomorrow is also a very auspicious day. At first I thought it was Sri Ram, but now I see since he has the flute, it must be Krishna. Closely followed by a 1938 Austin owned by Shishanto Sarkar and what a grand car, a 1938 Rolls Royce owned by Avhik Naha and is being self-driven. What a piece of engineering for maintaining such a marvelous and a grand piece of machinery. Now may I thank you, sir, with an engine, an auto engine. So we have a two-wheeler, a 1923 Panther Sloper, probably one of the oldest two-wheeler machines on the roads of Kolkata, followed by a 1938 James Villiers, followed by a 1937 Ariel owned by Lieutenant Colonel Nitin Shrestha and is being self-driven. we have again the stately Austin shear line. As I earlier told you, it's a 2900cc British machine which is owned and maintained by the army. Owned by Nilanjana Chatterjee and is being driven by Saurabh Bose. Closely followed by a 1947 Austin 16, an Austin 1947 Austin owned by Surendra Kumar Dugar of, and what a beauty, what a beauty. The wiggle, woggle, wiggle, woggle comes. Obviously, it's very difficult for such a big car. A car, it can only be called a stately passenger vehicle.
দেখেছিস রাইট সাইডটা ইভেন নিয়ে না হুইল লেফট সাইড
We have a 1947 Buick Super 8 owned by Miss Shoma Bhattacharya and is closely followed by another huge car. A 1947 Chevrolet
শেভরোলে না
owned by Devdut Roy Chaudhary and being driven by Shomir. Closely followed by a yesteryear beauty, a 1947 Chevrolet owned by Pallav Roy and is being driven by Saurabh. Another car follows. We have a car that's a 1947 Chevrolet owned by late Sanjoy Ghosh with us. Wherever you are, I'm sure he's watching his cars from heaven. Closely followed by a 1947 Wolseley owned by Mr. Vikram Swaroop and is being driven by Siddharth Swaroop. At one time we used to see these machines in and around Kolkata. It's a 1948 MGTC, beautifully done, owned by Himanshu Ajmera and is being self-driven. Congratulations, Mr. Ajmera. Fondly being called Bampuda because he was the one who used to restore these cars. We have a very elegant May I request Mr. Ajay Kumar, Zonal Head LIC, to kindly do the honors, sir. What a nice piece of wiggle woggle we are seeing. Rather a nice piece of beauty of yesteryears. Car number 1948 MG. And whenever you see the blue beauty coming, car number 72 is a 1948 Plymouth owned by one time our great Hemanta Mukherjee. Whenever I see this car, I remember of Hemant Kumar's elegant voice, closely followed by a 1949. We now have a 1949 Austin owned by Devoprem Chatterjee. We have a 1949 Morris Minor, 1948 Morris Minor owned by Nilina Ghosh. May I request Mr. Shukhendu Hira, IPS DIG, West Bengal, to kindly do the honor. We have a 1950 Morris Minor owned by Shankha Prasad De and is being self-driven, closely chased up. What a beautiful piece of machinery, an efficient one as well. We have a 1950 Sunbeam, followed by another stately car, a 1951 Mercury, owned by Paul Roy and is being driven by Showrock. To keep this machine in this pristine condition. Closely followed by 1951 Morris Minor, owned by Subrata Sarkar of Howrah. Owned by Onnesha Chand Das and is being driven by Vivekananda. Car number. Oh, what a piece of beauty! Once this car used to take me to school. A Fiat. A 1954 Fiat owned by Mr. Dev Kumar Paul and is being driven by Surajit Paul. Owned by Madhu Dugar. Closely followed by a wireless set is still in operation. It's not in operation, but it's still working. Closely followed by another yesteryear beauty, a 1955 Sporting of police, Kolkata police, probably would have been in this car. Now we have a 1956 Dodge Kingsway owned by the Commissioner of Police, Kolkata. What a grand piece of machinery in its pristine condition. Because he's very jealous of this car, he doesn't want anyone else to drive it.
Good luck, good luck, good luck.
1957 Wolseley, and if you remember, another film personality, Jai Kishan Saraf used to own the ribbon. We have a 9 Roy of Kolkata and is being self-driven. Closely chasing it is a 1964 Hillman, owned by Shorai Proshun Hajra, chased by another very sporting car, a 1966 Datsun, owned by Rishi Kumar.
Right and right.
We have the next car chasing is a 1967-63 Trans Spitfire 4 owned by Onnesha Dotto and is being driven by Shoikot Dotto. We have a and is being driven by Soldier Shop. Closely followed by a Mercedes-Benz owned by the army and being used. May I request Sir, Senior VP Mr. R.S. Sabu, Federal Bank, to kindly do the honors, sir. We have a Volkswagen Beetle driven by Syed Fakhruddin Hussain. Now the army commander's vehicle comes, a 1961 Mercedes-Benz, a war trophy once used. 1922 Morris Marina, owned by Dr. Shutomu Kumar Patro. We have a few motorcycles with us. May I request to have a few motorcycles with us. May I request Mr. Uthaya Raja, Director, Bama Lorry, to kindly do the honors, sir. We have a 1941 Matchless, owned by late Dr. Abdul has two-stepped us into misery and bloodshed. We have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives abundance has left us in want. We think too much, but feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity. More than cleverness, we need kindness and gentleness. Without these qualities, life will be violent. To those who can hear me, I say, do not despair. The misery that is now upon us is for the passing of free. The bitterness of men who fear the way of human progress. The hate of men will pass and dictators die, and the power they took from the people will return to the people. And so long as men die, liberty will never perish. In the 17th chapter of St. Luke, it is written, the kingdom of God, appreciate him. Closely followed by another two-wheeler, 114 1948 PSA Bantam. We have a fully original Fiat. Fiats are, ladies and gentlemen, you know that it's actually a conglomerate. Federación Internacional Automobile de Turin. All of us who remember May I now request the MD of Macintosh Burn another two-wheeler, a 350 Bullet, owned by Mr. Tuhim Ghosh. May I request Mr. Nirmalo Chaudhary, MD, Park Prime Hotels, to kindly do the honors, sir. We have a beautiful piece of yesteryear two-wheeler machine, a 1965 Triumph 500cc, owned by Mr. Shirodin Sarkar, and is being driven by Dipankar Dey. Closely follow following us is 19